Welcome everyone to the Wednesday, February 7th, 2024 Select Board meeting. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I think we have a scheduled appointment this evening with the Town Treasurer Collector, Kathleen McCarthy, the update on tax possession property at 0 Chandler Street, Book 2, 2466. Did you want to speak to it?
Sure, just a quick overview, like I had said in the past, and typically I would just send you a letter with the information. There's not an action needed for the board, but I figured since I was here on another matter, I would just quickly discuss it. So, like you had said, it's a tax possession property. It's a little parcel just under 5,000 square feet off of Chandler Street. Its assessed value is $1,600. It was taken for non-payment of fiscal year 2018 taxes. We went through the foreclosure process through land court, and the town was awarded the judgment on November 3rd. So then it will now be added to the tax possession inventory for the town, making it a total of 3 parcels at the time. As you know, land court was closed for quite a bit of time during COVID, so it is catching up. So that's why it would be 2018 till now. Our last tax possession foreclosure judgment was back in 2020, right before COVID really hit. So that's all I really had on that. I really actually came before you in regard to have you vote for the sale of a current town van. This is a $3.1 million community center supplemental funding. It was voted on at town meeting October 18th, 2022. If you remember correctly, it was a potential, if needed, supplemental borrowing because the town had applied for a federal grant. The federal grant has yet to come through or be awarded to the town. It's my understanding that it is applied for, waiting for an environmental review to be provided by the town to the feds. So in the meantime, because the community center is coming to completion, we do need to borrow those funds prior to being able to spend them. So we're going to do a short term, what's considered a borrowing anticipation note, a BAN, for the $3.1 million. We went out in the market, and our highest bidder was Piper Sandler and Company with a total net interest cost of $3.4306. That's going to be inclusive of a $15,593 premium that will cover our closing cost. Our closing date is going to be February 16th, and we gave it a maturity date of November 27th. And this was in the thought of to have it coincide with our current ban that's outstanding at like $9.7 million, just in case we were not awarded the federal grant. We can combine it for our permanent financing, and then we would be more appealing on the bond market for a better interest rate. So there is a motion to be read, as long as you don't have any further questions.
I do have one question.
Sure.
So, just for the board and the public, temporary borrowing with a $15,000 premium, what's the trade-off between getting the full borrowing amount now rather than waiting to November and save that $15,000? Like, what's the math behind that?
Well, the math behind it is this is anticipation of a grant. So hopefully we don't have to borrow this at all. But we need to borrow it right now because under Mass General Law, the town is not allowed to expend funding that they do not have. Currently, right now, we do not have this $3 million in our pocket. We need to have it in our pocket before we expend it. And in order to complete the community center, we need that money. The grant hasn't come in yet, so that $3 million, not free money, but free money from the feds, has not come in for us to spend. So we need, by Mass General Law, to have that money. And this is it's a short-term borrowing.
All right, that's great. That's the part I missed.
Sure.
It was for the grant,
Yep,
not for.
so that's
the
why
rest
it's
of the
banned, a
funding.
borrowing anticipation note.
Very good.
I have a question. What are, maybe there's only one component, but what are all the components that go to the delay of getting the $3.1 million in the first place? So obviously the town voted back in, a couple of years ago.
October
almost.
22.
Yeah. So what were the components that led to the delay where we won't be getting it until even further down the line?
Unfortunately, I wasn't privy to the grant application process. It's not handled by my office. We only do the borrowing in need be, and this was a need be case. It was my understanding that we did apply for the grant. There was just one aspect that the federal government was waiting for us on, and that was the environmental review from us, and it's my understanding also that that's currently being worked on.
There was
So-
a significant delay. Representative Keating's office was actually chasing that down for us on our behalf, because that was part of the omnibus bill that passed in December, a year ago. So that was already awarded to us, and we just had to provide certain things, and we signed the contract, we were ready to go, and there was no more communication. So we had Bill Search's records, we shook a few trees, we reached out to Congressman Keating's office and said, please, for the love of God, can you help us figure out, sorry. More professionally, I would phrase that as, we reached out to the congressman's office, great staff, rolled up their sleeves, they were concerned, they had other people who were also delayed. We were not the only ones who had not had additional communication beyond the original commitment letters and the application. So it was just a quiet zone, and it was a little longer than it was anticipated to be. They chased it down. By the time we got back, it needed an environmental review. That started immediately. But in order to wrap the project on time across the street, we need to make sure that we can finish funding it.
When did we identify the environmental component?
That I don't know, I have to look. That would be a Mr. Chenard question.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. If there are no further questions, is there a motion?
I move to approve the sale of 3,100,000, 4.25% general obligation bond anticipation notes, the notes of the town dated February 16th, 2024, and payable September 27th, 2024, to Piper Sandler and Company at par and accrued interest, if any, plus a premium of $15,593. And further, that in connection with the marketing and sale of the notes, the preparation and distribution of a notice of sale and preliminary official statement dated January 25th, 2024, and a final official statement dated February 1st, 2024, each in such form as may be approved by the town treasurer, be and hereby are ratified, confirmed, approved, and adopted. And further, that the town treasurer and the select board be hereby are authorized to execute and deliver a significant events disclosure undertaking in compliance with SEC Rule 15C 2-12 in such form as may be approved by bond counsel to the town, which undertaking shall be incorporated by reference in the notes for the benefit of the holders of the notes from time to time. And further, that we authorize and direct the town treasurer to establish post-issuance federal tax compliance procedures and continuing disclosure procedures in such forms as the town treasurer and bond counsel deem sufficient, or bond counsel deem sufficient, or if such procedures are currently in place, to review and update said procedures in order to monitor and maintain the tax exempt status of the notes and to comply with relevant securities laws. And further, that any certificates or documents relating to the notes, collectively the documents, may be executed in several counterparts, each of which shall be regarded as an original, and all of which shall constitute one and the same document. Delivery of an executed counterpart of a signature page to a document by electronic mail in a PDF file or by other electronic transmission shall be as effective as delivery of a manually executed counterpart signature page to such document. And electronic signatures on any of the documents shall be deemed original signatures for the purposes of the documents, and all matters relating thereto having the same legal effect as original signatures. And further voted that each member of the select board, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all such actions and execute and deliver such certificates, receipts, or other documents as may be determined by them or any of them to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing votes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion made, seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Do you have any further business with us, Kathleen?
I do not.
All right, thank you so much. Board action items. Vote to approve the minutes of January 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Town managers report. I will say one thing, that on February 21st will be the FY 2025 budget presentation. And Sabrina, do you have anything to add under the town manager's report?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Mr. Chenard just wanted me to, say that he regrets not being able to be present. He had a bereavement. He will be here on the 21st to present an extensive FY '25 budgetary revenue and expenditures report to the town. That night is going to be very long, so I just wanted to warn everybody in advance. I did want to start, however, by mentioning that the warrant is open for town meeting. It opened Monday and it closes at noon on the 16th of February. If you have any questions about that, please call the Select Board office. We'd be happy to talk you through it. There's information on the website on how to file an article. But this is generally for business matters, financial and bylaw. There'll be more discussed on that later, to take care and catch up the town on everything that's outstanding in our worlds right now. So the February 21st meeting, which is your meeting in 2 weeks, and it may move or not move by a day,
Well,
or
it changed from just the articles to the budget presentation.
it is a lot of things.
And I'm going to be away, and I'm gonna be on a flight
Okay,
home, so I won't be able to even Zoom it.
got it.
So, yeah, I've kind of sent it out there to see if we could move it to the next night.
All right, well, I'm sure you guys will have that conversation. Let me throw in there the depth of what you're gonna hear. So you start with a poll hearing, and it sounds small, but we have 9 petitions in for a complete underground utilization over in the entire Edgewater section. They did a small part a couple of years ago. They've come forward. Angela's been working on hundreds of abutters notifications. We expect to have quite a few people for a 7 o'clock. We're splitting it February 21, March 6. It's too much to take in one night. So they're gonna have to send out 2 engineers. It's 2 separate plans. So March 21st, you start with the poll hearing. You pick up a liquor hearing on the new restaurant on Bravo Mexican Grill. You move right into a Class 2 automobile public hearing. There will be a door-to-door solicitation permit and a common vic hearing, which is not advertised. There is no abutters notification process, but the abutter knows about it and has been told that that is going to be the Blueberry Muffin common victualer's license for School Street. The town manager's budget presentation will then follow. So by the time he's finished, usually at that point, you vote the articles for inclusion. Depending on what time it is, we may sneak that in right before the budget presentation. And at the moment, there are 6 bylaw committee / partnered articles for the warrant. There's 1 or 2 other articles plus the standing 9 routine articles. So you're looking at density of somewhere upwards of 16, 17 articles right now. And it's barely open.
Town meeting, really?
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep. Yep, it is. So that's excellent. And then the last thing I just wanted to throw out there is in your packets, there's a pretty thick, or not thick, but it's dense. Some of it's from the Department of Revenue, Division of Local Services. Some of it's from the Secretary of State's office. It just gives you a high-level overview of excise tax, how it's assessed, why it's assessed, and what you can do with it. So I know that's going to come into play, probably again dovetailed with either the budget conversation or the week after, or, 2 weeks after for your March 6th meeting. So that's just some background information, get your appetites wet and eager to discuss revenue.
All right,
That
so,
is it, sir.
very good. But to Rich's question
Mhm.
about splitting the budget presentation to a different day, what's the pleasure of the board? Is there an appetite for that? Is Bill available for that? Would a PDF of his budget presentation sent to you ahead of time so that you can email questions be satisfactory, Rich?
Well, I'm gonna meet with him on the budget personally before that anyhow, and go over that. I just hate to miss a meeting this big, and my thought, maybe break it up into 2 meetings. It sounds like it's gonna be a late night. I don't know if the board would wanna meet, on an extra night.
Yeah, what's the pleasure of the board? What's the discussion?
to Thursday?
It's gonna be a late one.
Probably.
I'm fine either or.
Either's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm open. Just checking my calendar. So,
I was checking Bill's calendar.
yeah, exactly.
That would be helpful.
Exactly.
Could we have something afternoon,
Yep, that should still work, though. It should still work. Thursday, the 23rd, 22nd, excuse me. The advertised public hearings would still have to go off. Would you guys have a problem coming in for those on the 21st? During your regularly scheduled hearing on Wednesday? That would give you back-to-back nights.
Yeah, why don't we, so, let's do this. Let's keep the 21st.
Mm.
We have notifications already out there for those.
Thank you.
And let's find out from Bill when he's available.
I was going to say, you could even consider holding the 22nd budget meeting by Zoom. open Zoom for everybody to jump in a webinar format. You could all be wherever if it becomes a travel issue or another night out of the house issue. It's up to the board, whatever the pleasure of the board is.
I'd prefer to be able to
Rather-
talk to Bill.
Sure.
Same, yeah.
Because
Well, that sounds
if
like
I have a question, and it sounds, from all, there's been some forewarning about a tight budget, so I'd like to be here and press him on the issue, or help him, or, be a part of it.
Can you do 2 nights in a row?
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't.
Doesn't matter, Wednesday or
Fine.
Thursday, it doesn't matter to me.
So we'll break it in half.
So advertise business on the 21st, budget. And you want to hold the warrant articles for the 22nd? They're a bit of a companion issue.
Yeah, let's keep those two, because that doesn't require a public notification.
No, not at all. It's a 24-hour delay in getting to advisory.
Also 7
They're not
o'clock.
even meeting that week, 7 o'clock, so, yeah. Yep.
All right, so we'll target Wednesday, the 22nd, and if Bill has a conflict,
Thursday.
we'll hold Thursday.
Yep.
Is that fine with everyone?
Yes.
I appreciate it, thank you.
All right, very good. Is there anything else for the town manager's report?
No, sir?
Moving on to liaison updates, are there any this evening?
I have bylaw review committee. As you know, we were created 5-6 months ago, and Fraser's here, Fraser's on the committee. We've met several times, and we solicited all the department heads and anybody else that had a concern about putting forth a change or deletion in the bylaws, and we've come up with 6 bylaws to propose to town meeting, which, of course, that's when the voters have the ultimate say. We will have a public meeting tomorrow at 5:30 upstairs. That's Thursday, February 7th, upstairs. And we were going to go over the 6 bylaws that we're going to present. And if anybody, any citizens had any questions, they could come in. They're most certainly welcome. I'm just going to run through quickly what they are.
And Mr. Flynn, I hope you don't mind, but we rescheduled you to this room.
Oh, down here, okay,
Yes,
great,
from
excellent.
5:30 to 6:30 prior to master plan.
Okay,
Yep. You may draw a crowd.
we might. I'll go through the 6 real quick, and then tomorrow night we'll really elaborate. We have a new proposed sex offender bylaw. We currently have one, but this new proposed one is going to be a little more restrictive, and we can go into details tomorrow night. The town clerk wants to adjust the closing time for the polls during the May elections, mostly because the period after a certain time, not many people come in, and that could be, well, it won't be this year, it'll be in effect next year. Town clerk is looking to extend the deadline for obtaining a dog license, giving people more time. Fire chief has a couple of proposals in here, mostly just coinciding with state laws, that the bylaws need to be updated here. The creation of the Affordable Housing Trust. There's certain funds that come in that need a place to go, and we need to create a way to do that. And lastly, amending the Community Preservation Act membership size. They're having trouble with getting a quorum. So it'll be maybe interesting tomorrow night.
Has the committee touched on scrubbing out the term town administrator for town manager?
We have a whole litany of things to address with that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do that probably for this fall town meeting. But yeah, we have to scrub it, we have to look at it, and then send it to legal. I think we talked about that.
Commissioners have got a couple of hills to climb on that.
Yeah, there's a lot, and it's really housekeeping. I mean, that's going to be an easy one.
And for the town administrator one, can be multiple issues with it. It can be just the title change, or the town administrator's authority is no longer the same as the town manager's, or vice versa. Some authorities from some boards are not the same anymore, because now comes under the purview of the town manager. So there's a lot of thought to put into that. We'll have a lot of work between now and fall.
We did, Sabrina, I think you brought that up, and we just don't have it this year.
Yep, that's fine.
We're
There's a
gonna
lot of
really
work
go-
there.
Yeah,
I get
it's
it.
going to be 6 months of work on that.
All right. Very good, thanks for that update. Are there any more liaison updates?
I've got a liaison update, just a quick question. The CPA, the CPC committee size, what's the change? What's changing?
It's gonna go from potentially 7 to 5, 7 to 5?
97.
Oh, 9 to 7, I'm sorry. 9's a lot to
Yeah.
to get a meeting.
Yep.
And there
That
are
makes
a
sense.
couple of, there's a DPW commissioner referenced in there, it doesn't exist. And open space and conservation each have a member which weights them differently and disproportionately than the CPA statute requires with historic, recreation, and so forth.
So those are the two that are going away?
Open space and DPW,
It's going down to
Potentially.
7.
potentially.
Right.
Sorry.
How many appointees do we place?
You have two. So the total is 5 mandated, 2 select board appointments, for a total of 7. Right now, there's 9, so you have to have 5 to open a meeting. They can't always get 5 when some of these places, things don't even exist.
Yep.
So,
Okay. And as for my liaison update, regarding the Master Plan Collaboration Committee, of which Tracy's on as well, of course, we do have a meeting tomorrow, right here at 6:30 PM in this room. So come one, come all, please, bring your inputs, for sure. Beyond that, we've actually got the draft master plan is uploaded and available for the public to review and consume. So we really want to get as much feedback and input from people reviewing that document as possible. You know, as I shared online, it's actually surprisingly readable and engaging. There's a lot of great stuff in there, so we really want people to go in, review the document, consume as much about it as they can, and send in as much of their feedback, their thoughts about the document, any inputs, anything that they think that we made a mistake on or whatnot. So we really are approaching this from a perspective of we really want the town's engagement with this document. So that's at www.pembrokemasterplan.com. If you go to the docs section, you'll see it right at the top. Click on the link. It's a PDF. It's right there. It's beautiful. I think the town will like it. We're about 95% done. Next coming up is the public forum number 2, which is on leap year, February 29th. And that's 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Pembroke Public Library. There's going to be babysitting available. That's been secured. And we're exploring ways to see to the extent that we can make it a hybrid format as well. So those details are still being worked out. We're going to have some discussion about that tomorrow at the meeting and go from there.
Are there any other liaison updates? Is there any old or new business?
I had a quick question, Sabrina, maybe you know. Do you know what the update is with the Adopt an Island program?
yes, we have a draft contract. It's back from legal. There are minor changes, and honestly, it's a matter of coordinating between the DPW director and assistant director. We've had some scheduled medical and unscheduled medical, and the highway and tree foreman is doing a fantastic job holding that down, but we wanted to get Gene's input again before we rolled forward and began implementing that, because the document was great. It was able to be adapted. Town council approved it, but we have the volunteer coordinator that reached out and wanted to be part of this, and met with Gene, and they came to an agreement. And to go forward without Gene weighing back in again just didn't seem right. But we will reach out to the volunteer coordinator and let her know what the status is.
Okay, thank you.
Sure?
I've got some old business, actually talking about the master plan draft, for example. One thing I'm really excited about at the end of the master plan draft is there's an action tracker matrix. So I was very happy to see that, we were able to implement that in the master plan. I think that it's a really effective, high-level way to help provide that a little extra layer of information as to what kind of a lift is this thing going to be, who's going to own the action, et cetera. And so on that note, I was very curious if the Select Board office has had any further progress on the action tracker that we've been talking about for a while. And actually, I feel like the action tracker from the master plan document could kind of inform the format a little bit as to how maybe we do our own kind of Select Board action tracker.
Love that. I'll talk to Mr. Chenard about that, and he'll update you at the next meeting.
Wonderful.
But I'm going
Thank
to take a
you.
look at that. Thank you. I love that. Why rebuild it if you've built it for us?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Very good. Is there any other old or new business? Are there any announcements this evening?
Go ahead, Tracy.
All right, thank
you. Just to save the date, the fish fry this year is going to be on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. The library sent over a few events they'd like us to announce. One is Anime Club, which will be Thursday, February 8th from 4 to 5:30. They're running a mystery book club starting on Thursday, February 15th. And a webinar series called Focus on the Lyrics, which will be on Wednesdays beginning on February 21st. And you need to either visit the library or go to the website to register for those events. And then one last event was the Historical Society is running a Valentine's-themed open house on February 13th at the museum building. I believe it's at 6. I'm not sure. You'd need to check Facebook for that event. That's it.
I have one event coming up on the 18th of February at 5 p.m. Tulsa's Tap and Tavern is having a hot wing eating contest that's benefiting Military Friends Foundation. And it's $20 donation to get in to be a part of it if you'd like. All proceeds go to the Military Friends Foundation, and we have 4 Pembroke firefighters ready to rock and roll with this one, going against 8 Kingston firefighters. So we got to bring this home.
Are 4 of you gonna join the 4 firefighters?
I will definitely
Can we
be
not?
there, and yes, anyone can join. $20 donation, like I said, it goes to veterans.
You can't send 4 of our guys up against 8 of theirs.
I asked the chief of police too, and hopefully by saying this on air, that he's able to get a couple of
on.
police officers also.
Fair enough.
So I'm hoping any and all can join us, and basically we try to take out some Kingston, possible Middleborough, Duxbury, public safety
Do
folks.
they have to be 18?
I would probably say yeah. It's that kind of event. So
Any citizen can join? Any citizen can join?
yes,
Yeah, good.
yeah, because like I said
Some wings, aren't you?
all proceeds go to the foundation.
I'm going
And,
away, I'm not
That's
eating that
right,
much.
that's right.
What's the date again?
The 18th, so it's a Sunday
Thank you.
at
No.
5 p.m. So let's rock and roll for Pembroke.
So we have a team? Or it's each their own?
Each their own, but
Okay.
we're gonna bring, might get a trophy for, hopefully whoever wins.
I want a trophy.
Very good. If there are no other announcements, does the board have any community comment this evening? Do any members of the public have any community comment this evening? Hearing none, that's the end of the agenda. We do have some upcoming issues on February 12th. We have the special within the annual warrant opens, February 16th, all warrants close. February 24th, we have a poll hearing. February 21st, again, we have the liquor hearing. Again, the 21st, we have a Class 2 license hearing. February 22nd is slated right now for the town manager's FY 2025 budget presentation. April 24th, all final warrants are signed. April 30th, all warrants post. May 14th, annual town meeting. May 18th, annual town election. And May 22nd, reorganization of the board. Is there anything left over that I missed? Hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Good evening.